Hello, dear students. Welcome to our online school. Let's start our English lesson. Today we will continue to talk about environment, in particular sustainable living. Let's start. Exercise number 1. Here we need to match the word with the definitions. First, let's read all the words in the box. Biodiversity, endangered species, coal, pollution, tidal energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, solar energy, oil spill, gas, conservation, oil, population growth, ecosystem, climate change, greenhouse gases, sustainable living. Be careful because some words are extra, so you don't need to use all the words. Now, let's match the words with the definitions. Number 1. Substances that damage the air, water, or land. Yes, it's pollution. Number 2. An accident where oil is released into a large body of water, damaging the environment. Great, it is called oil spill. Number 3. Species of animal or plant that is in danger of dying out completely. Yes, endangered species. Number 4. An increase in the number of people living somewhere. Correct, population growth. Next, gases around the earth that hold heat from the sun. Good, greenhouse gases. Next one, living in a way that does not damage the environment. Yes, it is called sustainable living. A change in the long-term weather patterns. Of course, it's climate change. Next, a biological community and its environment. Do you think it's biodiversity? No, this is ecosystem. The variety of plant and animal life, this is a biodiversity. And the last one, preventing land, water, plants or animals from being damaged. Great, conservation. Well done. Let's continue.
You will hear a discussion about environmental issues. I'm joined today by 5 teenagers, and we're going to be discussing environmental issues. So, Andy, welcome to the show. What do you think is the biggest environmental problem that we're facing today?
I think the biggest environmental problem we're facing is climate change. It's going to have a massive impact on so many aspects of our lives, and it will affect the lives of future generations too. Unless we stop burning fossil fuels and pulling down forests, greenhouse gases in the atmosphere are just going to make the Earth hotter and hotter. We really need to invest more in renewable energy sources like solar, tidal, wind and geothermal energy.
Thanks, Andy. Plenty to think about there. Maria, what do you think?
Well, I'm particularly concerned about pollution, so I agree with Andy that we need to stop burning fossil fuels like coal oil and natural gas. Burning them can pollute the air, and that can cause health problems. And the processes of obtaining them in the first place can cause terrible pollution, like oil spills, which can cause a lot of damage to plants, animals, and whole ecosystems. We definitely need to do more research into cleaner energy sources.
Thanks, Maria. I can see you're really concerned about that. Josh, what's your biggest concern?
Well, I'm very concerned about the impact our lifestyle is having on plants and animals. The Earth's biodiversity is seriously threatened, and the number of endangered species is growing all the time. The destruction of forests to create more land for development and farming is one of the main causes. I think we really need to focus on conservation before some of our plants and animals disappear completely.
Thanks, Josh. And finally, Olivia. Hi. What do you think is the biggest environmental problem facing us today?
Well, for me, it would have to be population growth. There are more than 7 billion people on Earth, and that number just keeps growing. There is only a limited amount of resources on our planet, so we need to move towards sustainable living. We can all play a part by reducing the amount of waste we produce, reusing everyday items like plastic bags and bottles, and recycling as much as possible.
Let's do the exercise.
Match the speakers to the issues. Then complete the chart. Who mentions what?
Let's start with the first part. Matching the speakers to the issues. Speaker number 1. What did he mention in his speech? Yes, climate change. Speaker number 2. What did he talk about? About pollution. Great. Speaker number 3. He was talking about endangered species. And the last, speaker number 4. She was talking about the population growth. Well done. Now let's do the second part of the exercise. Here we need to complete the table with issues. Let's look through the issues first. Ecosystems, oil spills, biodiversity, sustainable living, conservation, fossil fuels, renewable energy, greenhouse gases. Notice that some issues can be used twice. Let's start. Speaker number 1. What topics did he mention in his speech? Yes, fossil fuels. He also talked about greenhouse gases and renewable energy. Speaker number 2. He also mentioned fossil fuels in his interview. He talked about oil spills and ecosystems. Speaker number 3. He spoke about biodiversity and conservation. And the last speaker, she spoke about the importance of sustainable living. Great. Well done. Next exercise. Let's read and complete the sentences. Sentence number 1. Fossil fuels include gas, oil, and wind, geothermal, or coal. Coal. Well done. Next, renewable, pollution, or biodiversity energy includes natural resources such as solar and tidal power. Which is the right option? Renewable energy. Well done. Next, burning fossil fuels can produce sustainable living, pollution, or biodiversity. Of course, pollution. Next, there's been a lot of population growth, oil spill, or ecosystems in recent years. There are 7 billion people on the earth now. Which do you think is the right option? Population growth. Well done. Next, I recycle a lot because I believe in greenhouse gases, endangered species, sustainable living. Greenhouse gases? No, the right answer is sustainable living. Next, the number of climate change, endangered species, conservation of plants and animals is increasing. What is the right answer? Endangered species. Great. Conservation, climate change, biodiversity. Projects can help to protect endangered species. What can help? Biodiversity. Great. And the last sentence. Plants, animals, and their environments form complex ecosystems, oil spills, population growth. Ecosystems. Well done. And the last exercise for today.
Read and complete the sentences.
Let's start. The energy that comes from the sea waves is called solar energy, geothermal energy, or tidal energy. Tidal. Well done. Next. Solar energy, geothermal energy, or gas energy comes from the sun. Of course, it's solar energy. Next, the energy that comes from the earth is called wind energy, geothermal energy, or tidal energy. Do you think wind? Let's check. No. This type of energy is called geothermal. Next, if endangered plants and animals disappear, there will be less ecosystems, pollution, or biodiversity. Biodiversity. Great. Next, as well as causing pollution, burning fossil fuels produces greenhouse gases, ecosystems, or conservation. Greenhouse gases, of course. Next, a forest is an example of an ecosystem, endangered species, or oil spill. Ecosystem. Ecosystems, oil spills, or endangered species are examples of pollution. Oil spills. And the last one example of conservation, sustainable living, or population growth is reusing plastic bottles. Yes, sustainable living. Good job. This is the end of our lesson. Thank you. Goodbye.